I was just tired of being disappointed in myself. So I had to stop. I encourage everyone to take time out of their day, out of their life. It could even be 40 minutes a day, 40 seconds a day, or for the next 40 days. Your choice. But we all deserve time to really just lock in on something that we want to focus on, repairing within. And that's always my goal here. Because I will say the things that I failed at in these 40 days has definitely been the working out part. I'll tell you that much. But here's why. Stay with me. Stay with me. Don't leave me. What happened with the physical part is the fitness part was I went to the doctors and the dentist a lot the past couple of months. When you get surgery on your mouth, it is taxing on your mind and your body because it's so aggressive. I had to say goodbye to another tooth. So now I'm grieving body parts like teeth again. I'm grieving people. And now I'm starting to go back to the doctors, getting my physicals, getting a breast exam, and then finding out I'm anemic, finding out that I have to take iron supplements. Thank God that was the better solution because it would have had to been blood transfusions on a regular basis if it was worse. So I'm grateful for that. But having to like readjust my life to factor these things. But I think one of the, I guess one would call it a health scare in a sense, but I went for my breast exam and they said, we need you to come back in because there's some things going on. It doesn't look so serious, but we just want to double check it. So this was in the middle of me doing 40B40. I'm trying to gain some traction and momentum with this project, but I just can't seem to catch my footing because I start off losing people. In the middle of it, I'm like being challenged physically, which is then challenging me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because now I'm thinking, I went in for my physical, everything was good. I went to check this thing that was happening with my finger, it was good. Now the last thing I got to do, I did all my dental work, good. Now the last thing I got to do is my first mammogram. And then they tell me, we got to do another exam. And I'm just like freaking out. Now my life is really like, it didn't really flash before my eyes, but it definitely just like got me in check and was one of those like reminders of like, I'm not in charge. God is. So finding out that now I have to go back to the doctors for another breast exam was freaking me out. Because if you know a little bit about me, you know that I quit my job to help take care of my mom because she went through breast cancer 8 years ago. Thank God she's cancer free. But that was one of those eye-opening moments that I'm not going to waste my time at this job anymore if I don't have to. I'm out of here. And also my grandma was going through congestive heart failure. So it was all at once. So now fast forward, I get my first exam and they're like, oh, can you come in for some more scans? And we're going to give you, what do you call those things that they do for the baby? We're going to give you sonogram. No, not sonogram. I forgot what they're called, but I'm blanking right now because I'm just like overwhelmed by whatever. Now that I'm recapping everything that I went through in the past 40 days, I couldn't catch my footing. I couldn't catch any momentum because I was legit just living in real time, day to day, minute by minute, because I went in on a Wednesday a month ago and had to go back a week later. I could have gone in sooner, but it just wasn't working with my schedule. So now I go for my first exam, find out a week later the results. I have to go back another week. So now this is 2 weeks of just like me on edge, waiting for results. So that first week, get my results, I'm thinking, I'm in the clear. And then it says, come back. And now I'm like, I think the only thing that flashed before me was like, is this it? This is it? It wasn't anything that I regretted. It wasn't anything that I didn't do. It was more so like, wow, okay. And then I spent the rest of that week just fighting through any demons that were trying to take over my mind and be negative and take over my heart at that moment because I needed God so much more in that moment, even if it was just a routine check-in and something that they said I didn't have to worry about. I'm human. I still worried about it. And I spent that week really just going within. I think even if you go back and watch the content that I was putting out, it was not my best. It really wasn't, because I didn't know what was going to happen in a week. I was either going to come on here and I was either going to come on here and talk about it, or I was going to come on here, or I was just going to stop completely. I didn't know. I was just like, I can only think about today. Plus, I'm like face to face with like having to go to these services, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I'm stressed out. But I was like, give it to God. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Pray, journal, like do all the things, like keep going, business as usual, because I'm still here. I think for a brief moment, it felt like I left already. I was just like over the top with my reaction, and I had to just like reframe my mindset, reframe everything about what was happening in that moment. And I'm so grateful that I did, because I went back for my second mammogram. They did all the scans with the bigger, different machines. The doctor came in, did the whole thing, and basically said, you're fine. Nothing's wrong. This happens to most women. I basically have calcification and whatnot, but it is something to always monitor and to come back in 6 months and check it out to make sure that it absolutely is clear, benign, right? And when I tell you, I could have done a backflip, and I don't even know how to do a backflip in that moment, but I just knew that every worry or fear that crossed my mind like instantly went away. Any fears, any doubts, any insecurities, anger, pain went away. Because at that point, I dropped to my knees, and I was just so grateful, because I could have easily gone into that appointment deflated, just terrified, scared, but I didn't. I went in very optimistic. I was ready for any news that they were going to give me, but I was just feeling really optimistic about it, because I think I needed to go through that in order to face, not just face, but just like be stronger, and really know what it feels like to rely on God and to give it all up to God and to be faithful. Faith that works is dead, and really just give it up and surrender, and really know how to surrender through this process. Because before, I think I was always like surrendering, but I always got my eye out, But that was the first time I truly, truly, truly surrendered, and was just preparing myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually for any result. I really was. But I'm just so grateful to be on the other side of that news, to be here, to be documenting this journey. Again, I'm still not in control of anything. None of us are. We don't know what's going to happen between now and tomorrow, right? So all we can do, all we can be responsible for and tasked to do and be in control of is right now, this moment, today. No more, no less. When I stay too far in the past, I get stuck there. If I stay too far in the future, I get stuck there and nothing gets done. So that's pretty much a summary of what happened in the past 40 days. Also navigating, commuting here to my parents' house, being home and feeling like I don't have like exciting vlogs to give, but I don't think that that's what this mission and this project was for. I think it was definitely for me to just sit down, talk to the camera, find my rhythm without having to overplan or overextend myself when I just didn't have the capacity to do it. This is where I was at for the past 40 days, and this past year, I would definitely say has taught me more about myself and love than I even anticipated. Last year, my word of the year was discipline, and I did just that. This year, my word is focus, and I'm doing just that. So I'm just grateful. I'm going to go over, let me see. I think to close out this vlog, I'm going to list off some of my top highlights from the year, from being 41. So that was April 2025, April 2026. So right out the gate, Beyoncé. I went to the Cowboy Carter tour in Los Angeles because she didn't do a full world tour. She just did a few stops. And if you know me, you know I love Beyoncé. Been a fan since I was in the 7th grade, whatever year they came out, because they were brought up in the Bay Area. So we got access to their music early. And Beyonce's music alone has also gotten me through some of the hardest times. And you're either in the beehive or you're not. And I don't expect everyone to be, but I just do expect everyone to respect me being in the beehive as a fan, as someone that is an inspiration in my life, someone that inspires me, someone that I admire and whose work ethic I respect. She's definitely someone I respect. And I have so much fun. Like, so much of my joy came from attending both of her concerts, all of her concerts that I've ever attended, but the last 2 were definitely so extra special. But this Cowboy Carter tour was different. It was like the perfect kickoff to the new me, the new me, and who I am becoming in this lifetime, so that was definitely a highlight for sure, because I did that May 4th was the show date, and we took a road trip. It was just highlight for sure. Then after that, I really was just kicking it and being still, being present. I didn't really do too much other traveling that I can think of, but I really put myself to work and got busy with launching my coaching business, because I eventually got my first client. And then, let me backtrack. The Valkyries, the Golden State Valkyries. The WNBA launched a team in the Bay Area, in San Francisco specifically, my hometown, wherever you're watching this from, my hometown. And I got to go to the very first home game of the season, because one of my closest friends, best friends, family, is a season ticket holder, and she blessed me with one of her seats for that game. And it was just I cried. I did. I cried because my favorite coach growing up, Tara Vanderveer from Stanford, women's basketball, did the opening gong. And I was just like, what is going on? And they won. And I'd reconnected with my friend that I hadn't seen in a while. She knew everything that was going on and was just very patient with me, didn't rush me to come forward with everything that was going on. She respected me and my boundaries and just my journey. So for that to be our first real outing in a long time was just so special. And the game was so much fun, the energy. If you ever have a chance to go to a Valkyries game, whether you're in San Francisco, the Bay Area, or visiting, you have to go. Plan your trip around the season. It is electric. And I've been to Niner games, on the road, off the road, playoff games. I went to the World Series for the Giants. I've gone to so many concerts, sporting events, Beyoncé, Kanye, Jay-Z, John Legend, SZA, Frank Ocean, The Week. I've been to all of them. And Valkyrie games, the electricity is up there with Beyoncé events. That's no exaggeration. I'm not even exaggerating, because Beyoncé is the top tier of concerts. Even if you're not a fan and you go to her concert, it will change your life. So when you go to a Valkyries game, even if you're not a fan, it will change your life. It's that electric. So that was definitely, highlight number 2. Number 3, just being still. Stillness is the move. I'm going to get that tatted on me. But locking in on work that I love and I enjoy. Knowing that YouTube is a part of that journey as well. What am I going to do with it next? How am I going to incorporate that in my business, in my personal life? Through that, my coaching business started to build. I started a whole new channel on YouTube for my basketball content. 84 Hoops Crew. If you made it this far in the video, go subscribe. And I knew file life was eventually going to go away. What was it going to turn into if I was going to start over? I didn't know. But that eventually turned into File Lilz. I brought it back to my OG name. Throughout the year, just working on being present, being available in the moment, being okay with enough, not rushing to respond just to respond, not rushing to spend my money because it was there. Now, no longer calling it my money and just calling it money, using it as a tool instead of my identity, my worth. Humbling myself a lot through this process. You know, if I was behind on a bill or if I accrued another debt, which I did because of my back tooth that had to get done, just another couple $1,000s, under the debt pile. Humbling myself again, just being humbled. And I think this year has just been more confirmation that there's still work to be done. There's still parts of me that I'm not tapping into, that I need to dig deep into, to find, to release, to get to know. So stay tuned for that, because when you're bogged down by bills, by grief, by life, if you don't take the 40 days out of your year to revisit those things and see, how did I get here? Why am I in this mess? You're just going to constantly be in this hamster wheel of pain. And these 40 days, I know, are dedicated to getting off of that hamster wheel, or making sure I'm not headed towards that hamster wheel. Staying on path, knowing my why, knowing my goals, knowing my dreams, my visions, what my heart is telling me to do. Who am I personally, my personality? How does that align with my career? What is the career steps I want to take next? What are the levels I want to, work towards? Am I spending enough time with family? It's a lot to consider. Am I making new friends? Am I taking care of the friends I currently have? Am I taking care of myself? Am I going to doctor's appointments, dentist appointments? It's a lot to manage. And yeah, I might have condensed all of that into 40 days, but if I didn't even take the time to do it in those 40 days, it wouldn't have even happened. The good news I got might have been bad news a year from today. So what I'm saying is, we have to pause. We have to take time out of our busy lives, our busy schedules, to reprioritize what we know is most important. Because it's so quick to get lost in the sauce. It's so quick to get lost in what we're supposed to be doing and other people's tasks for you at a job, at school, in your household. Because that's a whole nother topic I haven't even touched the surface on. I just know I'm on the right course, I'm on the right path, and I'm on the right journey because I'm choosing to work on these things. I'm choosing to let go and surrender when I need to, or all the time, and building that relationship and that foundation with God the way I know I'm intended to do it, not based on what someone else tells me to do or how I'm supposed to read the Bible or how I'm supposed to go to church. And I talked briefly about my faith journey as well in during this 40B42 challenge, because I knew that was something I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get in depth about. I wanted to really go in on. And I'm so glad that I did, because I got a lot of that off of my chest that I've been just racking my brain around. But again, these are all topics I want to touch on that I'm just opening up, cracking the seal on. And stay tuned for more. I would definitely say, like, those are my top moments from 41. Those were some of the highlights. I'm sure if more comes to me in my mind, I'd have to look at my journals and my photos, but for the most part, just being still, going to Beyoncé, going to Valkyrie games, that's my life these days, and I'm okay with that. And that stillness also meaning being present with family and loved ones, and wherever we're at in the world, this next chapter, God willing, I want to focus on effort. I think that's going to be my sub word of the year. It's still focus, but now with more effort, and hold me to that if you're watching this far into the vlog, but more effort in terms of like initiating conversations, you know, saying hi or I love you to people that I haven't spoken to in a long time. Spending time with people, going out of my way to meet them where they're at, not necessarily always waiting for people to come to me. You know, I just found out a couple years ago that one of my closest cousins works 5 blocks away from my house. If you're watching this, you know who you are. So it's like little things like that. Like, how can I position myself to meet them where they're at, or to even just request their time, and to not think that I'm a, what is the word I'm looking for? That I'm in the way. That's not the word I'm looking for. That I'm an inconvenience, or that I'm, what is the word I'm looking for? If you're watching this, you know what I'm trying to say. I want to put more effort into what worked from 40 to 41, more effort in terms of really honing in on building the relationships I have, more effort in making more friends. Here's the thing, I'm really good at making friends online, but when it comes to like, let's hang out, let's talk on the phone, I don't need all that. And I think even the word friends has layers and levels to it that I'm still exploring, because all of my friends in the past, we either worked together or went to school together or church together. I didn't ever make friends outside of those 3 realms. So now I'm exploring and putting more effort into what making new friends looks like in my 40s from a more, again, wider perspective, not just this narrow school, sports, work, not just from those 3 worlds. So stay tuned for that as well, because I'm still exploring that. I legit ran out of storage talking so much. So if you made it to the end of this vlog, please, please, please write the numbers 42 in the comments, because whoever does make it to the end of this video, you are truly appreciated. I legit ran out of storage, so I'm going to stop talking here. I'm going to go empty out my phone, but stay tuned for more, just the journey in my life at 42 years old, what that looks like from my perspective, how I'm navigating things like sobriety, making new friends, maintaining the relationships I have currently, traveling more, doing things that bring me joy, trying new things I've never done before as well, and growing this channel. I believe in it. Again, I was almost ready to give up on this channel and just focus on work, which boring. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. If you have my number, just text me, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. And again, I'm going to put more effort into reaching out to other people as well. But I know this is a long vlog, so comment 42 in the chat if you're still here. I'm so grateful for you all. If you're a new subscriber, introduce yourself as well. My name, I didn't even introduce myself in the beginning. My name is Lily, like the flower, but you can also call me Faya or Lilz, because those are my names as well. And thank you for tuning in for the past 40 days of this 40B42 challenge. I'm going to drop another vlog tomorrow for my 42nd birthday and continue to document, probably more short form content. I just want to experiment what that's going to be like. If you like the vlogs, I'll keep doing the vlogs as well. It just probably won't be daily, because that was definitely a stretch for me. But I know now it's possible, even through the biggest, even through grief, through stress, through distractions, through scares, it is still possible, because I'm just documenting my journey. I'm legit talking to you all in real time. And I love that for me. I love that for you. I love that for us. I encourage everyone to start a YouTube channel, but I am so grateful. I'm going to continue to document. I'm going to continue to show up and have some fun. Just have fun. But in the meantime, subscribe. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far. My name is Lily, and life ain't perfect. Remember, life ain't perfect, but it is a blessing. Life is a blessing. Fearless individuality yields abundant healing.